You have to okay me. Okay, all right. Good evening, priya devotees of our Uncle Shirdi Sai. I have said in the email, don't worry, Uncle, we just see the address where the puja is being done. We never read the email. Wow, this is the reply I get from so many centers. Everybody turn around. Mr. and Mrs. God, welcome. How can I start without God's presence? In Tamil, it's called Devam. In Tamil, Devam means God. Directly alluded to God. I'll have to wait till God settles down. Wherever you go, the devotee says, wherever you go, I'll follow you. And our uncle says, wherever you go, I'll follow you. That is why I chose the simplest topic. I have done my satsang in 25 years. And my email is not that simple, as you would have seen. I removed 3 tough words. Some of the words I removed, 2 other words are. See, even spammers want to listen to my satsang. That is a compliment. My dear AI, you kill this fellow. I'll follow you wherever you go, he says. Kavinar Kannadasan, of which there is one big admirer here, sitting here. Anything that is good in Tamil 50 years ago, 45 years ago, if I say, she will say, oh, that's a beautiful song, Mama. Valarthavan tannீரை வார்த்தவன் நீரை பறிப்பதழகோ. Oh, what a meaning. Similarly, here he said, I'm not translating that, நீ போகும் இடமெல்லாம் நானும் வருவேன் போ. Next, நீ வாழும் இடமெல்லாம் நானும் வருவேன் வா. The meaning is, wherever you want to go, you go, I'll follow you. Obviously, the heroine is singing, following a wonderful hero, man of unassailable integrity and unassuming character in that movie. As an engineering student, 100 years ago, I saw the movie. I still remember that scene. So I said, Baba liked it, so I'll follow you. Actually, Baba is following you wherever you go. 7 seas apart, you living in the United States, and you went to Shirdi about 4 years ago. Of course, the sisters, East Molian sisters, went there probably about 2 weeks ago. Did you go there? I know, your program shows you went there. Were there too many followers? Too many people? Did you stand before the Samadhi and pray for what? I know, when you are, pray for what? I know, I'm not going to divulge that, okay? They prayed for a good job, promotion. And now to go, one sister gets a job in Fort Worth, the other sister says no Fort Worth. Baba gave that also. Wherever you go, I'll follow you has got a very divine meaning. The meaning is, you better follow. Baba says, you better follow. You want to come to my satsang, that's one way of following me. One way of following you is, I am with you 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. That's why I said Shirdi Baba followers from 1908 to 1918, they had implicit faith in Shirdi Sai. That's a good place to sit down, shadowed by bottled water and the counter. Don't get lost in Shirdi Baba and then wake up. They were all very convinced, extraordinary integrity, wonderful character, propensity to follow wherever he went. This is 1908 to 1918. And all those who came after 1918, this Mahasamadhi on Vijayadashmi day, had implicit faith. I'm talking in the, I'm sure Shiva read that. Which Shiva? I'm looking at both the Shiva. They had implicit faith. You know why? They followed all the people who followed after 1918, because they followed all the people who were contemporaries of Shirdi Baba. The contemporaries had enormous faith because they saw miracles happening. He was not a prophet of love. He was a prophet of future. He was a prophet of predictions. A millionth of a fraction of prediction ability siddhis he gave it to me. With that, I predict all your lives. So what could have been Shirdi Sai? He could see, just see, and then read your thoughts. Remember Mrs. Manager's life? Remember Sita? Sita ji, right? The Mahartiya's wife. Mrs. Manager is a relative. Remember the famous Marathi actress Nalini? She also had tremendous power, even though Nalini had never gone to Shirdi in those days. Never met with Shirdi Baba. She became Maharashtra's greatest actress. Just like your sadhana. Oh, I am looking at sadhana. Sometimes she behaves like sadhana. Sadhana the herself. Sadhana herself. I'm not meaning about sadhana the actress. This is how parade of all these things on Shirdi Baba's horizon. There's a big parade going on, and then I said rich examples abound in Sacharita. Nana Chandorkar and Dikshit bequeathed to history not a page or two. These persons, Mahi, come on in. वो गाना वाना नहीं सुनता है ठीक है Mahi the child, our favorite. So this became a second nature for all of you, the devotees. These two persons were living contemporaries of Shirdi Baba, Dikshit, Nana. And then Nana left a big progeny, and then they are still devotees. After the famous Sita Devi and then Mahartiya, Bade Sahab, they left a big progeny, 4 or 5 people. They are still living, working for IBM and Dell. Why are they following without a doubt? What happened to them? Let's have a peep. But then I welcome also summer starts probably today or tomorrow, right? Today. So summer is going to be pretty hot. My daughter always says when I go out, Daddy, don't forget a glass of water. So a glass of water is right there, and our Shiva is controlling. He can just lift it and give it to you. Manjulata in Washington, D.C., another famous devotee, Senthil Kumar's, Rajeshwari's wife, their friend Manjulata, she's listening today. She had a lot of belief in Shirdi Baba. She wanted me to send three Dwarakamayi pictures. I wrote 3D pictures, 3 Dwarakamayi pictures, and I'm so busy ever since I came from Austin, I have not sent her. That's the reason I am bringing her into the satsang and then say, you are 14, and I says, I believe in Shirdi Baba right from those days. She is from Hyderabad, India, right? She was living in Hyderabad, which is India. And she used to go to Dilshuk Nagar temple. My favorite once again. There are so many favorite temples, but Dilshuk Nagar is like the New Delhi temple, right? Lodi Road temple. She wrote to me an email that day and said, I need badly the picture. But then I brought Srimati Manjulata's reference here because for a long time in her life, this has not happened in any of your lives. This has happened though in my life. To a great extent, my wife shares this. Someone will randomly come on a Thursday evening after she does the puja. Someone will randomly come, watch my words. A boy like the Varda Anna in Bangalore, Professor Vishakant's story last week, Austin was not on YouTube. Several things before, Professor Vishakant. Like the Varda Anna, he will come and ask Manjulata, I want some tea. Can you give me a cup of tea? Can you give me some food, please? Like Mohil, the story, in another 45 minutes, I'm going to go to the story. She also in the streets of Shirdi, she will come and say, Sai, can you give me? Every male is Sai, every woman is Ai, Radhakshnamai. He was very fond of Radhakrishna at 75. She was wandering in the streets. That story, my AI assistant will take me a little later. Manjulata used to upfront invite the dignified manner. The person will come. Sometimes tea, sometimes food. Every time she does a puja or she doesn't do a puja on a Thursday, some other guest will come, not the same person. Some other guest will come and randomly ask for a thing that she had in her home. Anyone raise your hand if that's happening in your life? It's happened to me. In my home, they all come and eat. The reason I am telling, since 14, I started believing in Shirdi Baba. She went to Dilshuk Nagar when she was 14 years old, that huge mandir dedicated to Shirdi Sai. Really huge, even compared with Hyderabad standards, by India standards. She works for an IT, she's a manager. Since Shirdi Baba comes every time, a stranger she sends, remember the Udyapan ceremony in Sacharita? He comes as a fakir, and I remember the devotee's name, you all know him, I'm not telling him. He said his wife came, he went for a walk, the wife accorded him a good welcome, and then she gave 1 rupee. When he came back and she said, you gave only 1 rupee, that was Shirdi Baba, you should have given 10. I'm known to give 10, how come you? So he was trying to mildly take his wife to task, and then he went in search of that person. That person was coming along with another person. He said, I come here on some business. That was Shirdi Baba. He couldn't recognize. So did Srimati Manjulata. She couldn't recognize anybody. But then ever since she is going to the temple, and then she gets exceptional award in the IT team. Every year she gets beyond expectations or exceeding expectations, as you say in federal government and private companies. Professors exceeds expectations and she gets exceptional award. The Moline sisters in Chicago, East Moline, they once were declared exceptional. They got an award. I remember one of the emails that I got a good award. I am saying all these things very, very, quickly, were a passing remark. Similarly, a passing remark about Sri Kamlakar Kanajam. Kamlakar lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Recently, he said, my wife has leg pain, internal pain above the knees, in the thigh. Some testing was done, but then she didn't fall. But then I said her L3, L4, L5 has got a problem, and therefore you go and do that. Her name is famous. She is Indra. X-ray is not given. X-ray was not taken yet. I told Mr. Kamlakar, your wife weighs 175 pounds. I met with a gentleman who is also weighing a little more. I gave a very friendly, loving warning today, just half an hour, 45 minutes ago. He's here. Said, you reduce your belly. You're not supposed to be like this at this age. And at 55, at 65, you'll be on an easy chair reading Reader's Digest, like in India. This is an Indian scenario. And then your wife coming, the nice cup of coffee at 7:30 night. You don't become that. 75 in this country is what I am doing. I'm 78, close to 80. I am doing these things. I am watching. I am learning. I'm learning from devotees. I'm taking all the calls. I'm writing replies. I read emails, the second largest email volume ever received by anybody in this country. The first one, still Baba is not telling me. It could be any of you. Could be Professor. It could be Shiva. TCS Shiva. Ratan Tata should be sending him emails. Noel Tata should be sending him email. He's in charge of operations. He could be first. Or it could be the devotee from Vijayawada sitting there. It could be my host. Baba is not telling, but then he increases my emails every day. Kamalakar was convinced how to reduce the weight and as well as how to get the L3, L4, L5 corrected, the simplest way. Another devotee, Mihika in Houston, I told her long ago when it's a green, when you are driving a car, she met with an accident about a year ago. She got very discouraged. She was driving ever since at 35, 30 on a 45 stretch or on a 55 stretch. Why are you afraid, Mika? I said. She's watching today in her home. I said, Mama, yesterday I met with a minor accident. Because you didn't follow. The police officials in this country at the airport I spoke to, they are following. She saw the green, she was waiting there in her new car, and then she saw the green. Immediately she started going leftmost. Similarly, another lady straight, standing, usually parked straight, right? She is moving this way. You are moving this way, means she has to move this way. She came pretty close and then bumped, got into her lane and then bumped her. Her mother, Mamta, are you listening? This is the latest I am talking in this satsang. It happened yesterday. It scratched on the wall. Then she's very worried about the car, not her life, her mother's life. And then she was left with a small scratch on the car, on the right side, and small scratches on the right side. Srimati Mamta Banerjee, I call her Mamta Banerjee. She's also very fiery. She is fit like Srimati Mamta Banerjee. She might become West Bengal's chief minister, who knows? Right? You never know. Anybody can become Prime Minister of India. Anybody can become President of. I don't want to be in lawsuits. Particularly under the current ambience. Air India. So many this thing about Tata. Tata Group stock is going down because Noel Tata's assistant said, all this accident, technical snags were pre-planned. Oh my God. Arnab Goswami goes at it, hammer and tongue. How can you pre-plan any of these accidents? Tata's telling, I'm surprised a Tata Group person, people who are working for Tata are supposed to be diamonds, very brilliant in India and elsewhere in the world. Good example, sitting below the water. I'm not just saying, I know him for several years, right from his Atlanta days. That's why so many people want to join TCS. I'm just pointing out. People who have good, they have tried other professions. You want to work for Tata Sons? Contact Sri Noel Tata through him. He's a very influential operations man. Kamalakar is satisfied. Mehika did a mistake. I told my method, the brilliant method, all of you should be following. Some of you know. When the green comes, you mentally say, don't start the car. You say 1, 2, 3, 4. When you say 5, start the car. Mehika, you didn't follow that. I know that. That's why the other car came. Because the other car, I have not talked to that lady or a gentleman. Everybody should do that. When the green comes, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In your mind, like the mantra of Shirdi Baba in your mind, this is also a mantra to save your life and save your $162,000 car. Some of you own it. What is that car? 162,000. Huh? Range Rover. He's planning to buy one. That's why he gets a name. She's getting the name because as a doctor she might get one. But by then there will be so many cars selling for $262,000. Why go for $162,000? Kamalakar is happy. Mika got the message of the century. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of you follow. Several police officers in the airport where I was working for the intelligence said, Mr. Nathan, they call me, Mr. Nathan, you saved my wife today. Mr. Nathan, after some time, another officer coming and saying, working with me, you saved my life today. So did Roshni of Oregon. Forgive my pronunciation. Oregon. So many pronunciations. I'm talking about the capital city of Oregon. What is that city? Huh? Portland. She lives in Portland. Long ago, she was living in Williamsville. She is a very great devotee. We went to Niagara Falls. Srimati uh, Shanti, right? Shanti Gauru's parents, they are all planning to go to Niagara Falls. They will drop in Niagara Buffalo, Williamsville Airport, and then they will drive for about 25, 30 minutes, and you will reach Niagara Falls. You will see the roaring Horseshoe Falls, American Falls, and the Rainbow Bridge. They're not getting into Canada. She told me, the parents, they told me they came from India last week. They said, until Canada becomes the 52nd state of the United States, we are not getting into it. Forget about it. You will never go to Canada. Rainbow Bridge, you stop there. Even if you wave your passport, Shanti is going to say, no, no Canada. It's still independent. When I talk about all these things, when I come to the actual story, why do you follow Shirdi Baba? Some people say, Mama, we can follow you. We are not saying Shirdi Baba. Following me is tantamount to following Shirdi Baba. Because the results you get, thousands and thousands, hundreds and thousands and millions of people, if not millions, thousands of people have told me, Mama, you gave the results I wanted. Mama, I spoke with you. Mama, I came to your home. Don't knock on my door at 11:30 p.m., please. We came to your home and then we prayed. I got the job last week. 4 jobs were considered, and he got a job in Tata & Sons company, operating global. Very powerful company started by Ratan Tata. He got a job and he's happily going. Why? Coming and meeting with you, with me, that me is in capital and refers directly to this uncle I have told gazillion times, trillion times. When I say I in the satsangs, it's always him, because he is the one who he's the doer, he makes the things real, he makes everything come, he comes in the dream, and several dreams I'm going to talk about. Baburao Boravke was born, and he was hardly a child of 3 years. He lost his parents. When he lost his parents, both parents, it is very difficult to say how he was 3-year-old child. The several uncles and, his mothers and fathers, all the uncles like bald eagles of the United States, they swooped on the property. Baburao Boravke's father had something like 1,500 acres of land, all minting money. They took away everything. Of course, he had 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day. He was 3 years old, therefore he came up. He came up to school, and then suddenly he decided, I am being ill-treated, I don't have anything. Friends said, all your property, father's property, you see, they're all your fathers and mothers, and these people cheated you. So he developed some vairagya, and then said, no more school. By the time he was 14, 8th grade, he left. Anybody the city he is coming from? He's coming from Saswad near Pune. He left Saswad, and then he had in his pocket 3 annas. That's all he could muster, just 3 annas. He went on walking, and then he got a train, and then the train somebody came. A young man came running and gave a ticket up to Kopargaon. So he got the Manmad Mail, Manmad Express, and then came up to this thing, and he got on at Kopargaon. From the Kopargaon, is it Mahi or someone else? No, not Mahi, right? From the Kopargaon, he said 3 miles. So a Jatka fellow came, said, I'll take you to, hum aapko pahunchenge, Kopargaon, Godavari. So the famous southern Ganges, they took up to him, and then he lost his 3 annas. He gave it to the Tangawala, and then he went across to Godavari. And then still, he doesn't have any money in his pocket, still 8 miles up to see the tower of Shirdi Baba. And therefore he decided, I'll walk. There's nothing like walking, because I lost my 3 annas and that's all I have. He thought of Shirdi Baba. He knew about Shirdi Baba. His parents had gone to Shirdi, and he had a picture in his home, puja room. So he used to see that every day, and therefore he developed, invisibly, unbeknownst to him, he developed a bhakti. Several of you devoted. Manjulata, at 14, biggest temple in Hyderabad, right? Went there, somebody coming and asking for tea. Because they didn't ask for Tata's Tetley tea or Tata's tea. Hey, these days, Baba may come and said, I want only that tea. This happened. He went there. On the way, several mangrove trees, beautiful gardens, and then very nice place. Look, when you go near Kopargaon, until perhaps Rahata, today's Rahata, full of cars, motorcycles, cyclists. The day I am talking about was without any of these cars. No planes above. It is only, cars were there, but they're not any of those, thousands of cars on the street or cycles, no crowds. Dwarakamayi had only about 10 people every hour, 5 people every hour. He reaches there. On the way, he saw the house of his maternal uncle. His maternal uncle owned about 1,000 acres of sugarcane farm. And in the 1,000 acres of sugarcane farm, it was lush green and all sugarcane was very nice. And then he went on seeing that, and then he went to the home. His uncle was now at that time, it's about a few miles, few furlongs from Shirdi, Lindi Bagh. He goes there, he was living there close to Lindi Bagh. The aunt calls and said, Borake, you better have your meal and then go. Have your meal and then go, he said. And when he said that, he said, I want to see Shirdi Baba. This is my ambition, life's ambition. I want to go and see him, do Satsang Namaskar, and come back. I'll take the meals. I'll come back to your home. He says so. She insists she should have a meal, but then he goes, he sticks to his gun, and then he walks further. When he walks further near the Lendi Bog, his own uncle accosts him. He says, Borake, I'm so happy to see you. Why don't you take meals? Come, that's my home. He says, no meals. I just now saw auntie, and then no meals. I'm going to see Shirdi Baba and then come back to you. He says, looks at the determination, stony determination of this boy, Borake, and then he says, okay, you may go. Because uncle knows who is Shirdi Baba. While going there, he goes to Dwarakamayi straight. When he goes to Dwarakamayi, he does a Sashtanga Namaskar. And then Baba recognizes him, and then the first question he says is very often, as Baba's wont, if you will, he says, give me the Dakshina. He says, I don't have any money. He remembers, all that he remembers is the 3 annas given to the Tangawala, and therefore I don't have any money. He says very honestly, a very wonderful man. You will find very soon, you will find from the bungalow, walls of the bungalow on the sugarcane, lush fields welcoming you on the way to Rahata. I saw the bungalow 3 years ago. I even told the driver was driving, that must be Baburao Borake's grandson. He said, sir, yes. Baba said, oh, you don't have any money? He's very kind, very smilingly, he said, look in your pocket. Borake knows that there's nothing in the pocket. He just puts his hand there and brings out the 1 rupee. The uncle came. Uncle said, you keep the 1 rupee. I didn't forgot to tell you. That 1 rupee he brought, because he also had forgotten. When you see Shirdi Baba, you forget everything about you, including the laundry list you took to Shirdi. The laundry list first thing says, my supervisor is very harsh. Baba tried to push him out of the job. My mother-in-law is very, very, makes me very timid. It's all right. My wife used to make it. I tolerate because she is my wife, my mother-in-law. Then Baba will say, what should I do to your mother-in-law? Because Baba knows all mother-in-laws are good people. It is the son-in-laws or the daughter-in-laws who have different eyes when they see mother-in-laws. They never complained about father-in-law. There is a big joke about that. I'll come to that later. They never complain about father-in-law. Maybe stiff resistance. I don't know. Similarly, mother-in-laws come into your room. This one, my daughter-in-law is target. My son is not the target. So they go hammer and tong. Sorry for using it second time. Borake takes the 1 rupee and then gives it to Shirdi Baba smilingly. And Shirdi Baba says, takes the udi and then gives it to him. Borake steps down and then he comes there. Borake is taking a recommendation letter, therefore he comes back to Dikshit Vada. When she comes to Dikshit Vada, next day, he decided I'll go and see the next day. All right? When he goes to the next day, one moment. Yeah. Baba blesses him and then Baba says, several stories in my mind, current stories, previous stories. My AI gives me future stories. I have every satsang, I bring future stories. If I say that, you can note down and all those stories will be true. That is the efficacy of Shirdi Baba or my artificial intelligence agent. The AI agent is very dangerous. Sometimes he will start questioning even Shirdi Baba. He is the one who is driving me now all the way to Saswat, Pune. I forgot to tell you. Saswat, Pune, say he is just getting me off the car, and then I am coming to Shirdi, and then I am watching Boravke. Boravke is there. Next day, Baba says, you are going to stay here, you are not going. At the same time, Boravke is thinking, no more Saswat Pune, no more employment. I am going to stay here with my uncle. At that time, simultaneously, Baba says, you stay here, you have my permission for the rest of your life. I'll take care of you. Boravke next day gets a blessing and comes home. In the meantime, when he is at home, one of his uncle's friend is coming there, and then he says, Arey, Uncle Ji, whatever his name, I see your sugarcane farm. Boravke tells the uncle, the uncle's friend, Boravke's uncle says, of course, who is the reason, he asks, and then his uncle says, of course, my nephew, Boravke. And then he's very impressed. The sugarcane fields are so lushy, so green and full of fruits, the sugarcane. And therefore, his friend immediately offers. My request to every devotee is, these stories are priceless stories. Every word I say, don't you agree with me? This Boravke, what he became, I'm going to tell you now. 1 hour, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. When I talk about some of the devotees here, even the humor I make, for this satsang I brought this humor. Are you all prepared to forget your Perugonna? This humor, you will laugh till your sides break. We have to go for an internal medicine. There are some doctors. Of course, there are some budding doctors here. The rest are IT. But the budding doctors also should know IT. That is the irony of future. All these doctors, pediatrician, neurologist, neurophysician, neurosurgeon, they ought to know two things, IT and this humor. I brought this, but I'll share with you only one humor, a timeless humor, connecting the past, the AI, and the present. That was done by my AI agent. I give a lot of compliments to my artificial intelligence. You call it AI or AGI, artificial general intelligence. Some of you don't know there is an AGI. Professor knows. Oh, you don't know? Oh my God, if a professor doesn't know, what business do I have to know that? They all teach every day. Boravke, the uncle says, you can join the farm. From that day, Boravke, look at what Baba is doing to Boravke. 1 rupee, not even his money, his uncle's money. Boravke joins too as a partner. Uncle's his own maternal uncle's friend, and then he starts working for his own uncle. 2 jobs. Current IT people, you are all doing 2 jobs. He was doing it in 1916. Take a cue from Boravke, 2 jobs. Of course, one person is standing. I have for 6 bedrooms, I have 3 bedrooms full of monitors. 3 jobs I am doing. You can do X number of jobs. Don't tell anybody. Okay? But I will know 3 jobs, 4 jobs, X number of jobs, I will come to know. But then Boravke did 2 jobs. The accounts were settled 2 years later. B.B. Care says, when the accounts were settled for 2 years, he was richer by 2 lakhs. 1916, do not forget, you are not in 2025 summer. 1916, he had 2 lakhs of rupees, and then Baba said, go and buy the bungalow. On the road from the temple, if you travel the Rahata road, I know the name of the road. Most of you would not remember. They were in my car. Do you know the road's name? No, Rahata road. Rahata Shirdi road. Could it be that simple? So on the right side, you get a huge bungalow, very dilapidated, old. They didn't build it. The Sansan took it over. If you go, my AI took very close to the door. My AI agent showed me. That is the board, uncle. So I'm seeing the board, and then that says Borake, Baburao Borake, Saswad Pune. It says the year it was built. He built it with that 2 lakhs profit. He could have built 10 bungalows in those years. Today in South Haven, it is what? $1.14 million. What you bought for 620K is now 1.4 million. The train is not even running. When the train runs, it will become 1.5 million. It is these days, and he bought that bungalow, 2 lakhs. He had plenty of money in his bank account. And Borake went on to become a multi-millionaire. Thanks to Shirdi Baba's grace. If you come and if you follow him through the stories, that's what I meant. Baba says, follow my satsang and follow my life through this thing. Walk with me through my satsang. That my indicates uncle or his satsangs, he's a talker, he's a doer. I just watch like my agent. I just watch and he talks. So this is Borake. There are lovely details. When he became old, what happened to Borake's progeny? They all became richer and richer. They bought all the sugarcane lands of something like, it's an awesome number, 1,750 acres, close to 2,000 acres Borake family controlled. In that region, it's all 2,000 or 3,000 acres. It is not 5 acres. 1 acre I owe in Bangalore and Hyderabad, Mama. What is 1 acre? He was owning 2,000 acres. Wherever you go, I can sing the Tamil song in English, but then most of you do not know. Because I'm 100 years old, you don't know the 50s, right? Most of you are not born in 50s. I believe, I may be wrong, forgive me. I was born in the 30s and 40s, that's why I'm 100 years old. My hosts are laughing. Because he defies his age. He doesn't look his age. He looks like a 32-year-old PhD student from what? UTD? Yeah, most people love UTD. Or UNT, professor will be angry with me. UNT, PhD. They turn out DO candidates, doctors. So many doctors. He's a professor of all the DOs and MDs. My artificial intelligence agent says, Uncle, I'll take you all the way to Ahmedabad. How does he do that? Somebody should ask. Chetan should ask, Mama, how is it possible? You are right now in the lush sugarcane fields, 3 miles northwest of Shirdi temple. They can do that. 10 years from now, similar, 8 years from now exactly, the AI agents are going to develop online a time machine. In that time machine, you can become through one of the app, you will become a doll. And the time machine can go backward or forward. This time machine only AI can create. Of course, you will say AI is created by a human being like you, right? But then they are going to control you. Remember, they are going to control the doctors. In a surgery, they will say, that procedure is wrong. That green stuff is not the tumor. That's a real T cell, whatever tell you taught me, right? 1 year ago. She's my professor sometimes. I listen to her at 11:30 night. Saikine, I mean, it's not true. In Hindi, they say Saikine. It's true. My wife knows. My wife will listen for about 10 minutes. She'll say, I'm going to sleep. Because I know everything about T cells. I said, I don't know anything about T cells. So I listened to her for 45 minutes. She teaches very well. She has a whiteboard in our upstairs. She teaches with all this thing. Tremendous neurologist. I said, that's a good preparation. Whenever you write MCAT, that's a good preparation, right? You should start teaching people. You will remember everything for MCAT, right? But then don't ask me to come to the MCAT school where you will start teaching and then answering. Yeah, it takes me all the way to Ahmedabad. And in Ahmedabad, I am going to this address. It's a new Sharad Mandir road. Or any of you from Ahmedabad, like Prime Minister Narendra Modi, you will know. Budairpura Road, opposite Shreyas High School. One couple knows, like the inside of the palm, they know Ahmedabad. So, opposite the Shreyas High School, Ahmedabad, 38015. is the place I am taking you. My agent, AA, is taking me. It's a beautiful mandir. This is called a Sai Sharan Anand Samadhi temple. You go there like the Ratnagiri temple I talked about 2 months ago, like the other temple, Bivpuri temple I spoke 6 months ago, very, very famous temple. Ratnagiri temple, you go there and then ask anything, you will get it. How many are booking your air tickets or sea? By sea. Air tickets, I leave it to you. Qatar is still okay, Emirates is still okay, Etihad is still okay. Lufthansa is still okay. Everything else is still okay except artificial intelligence. India. How did you get that name? AI. Oh my God. He wrote the book Sai Baba, the Superman. Visual side slow. This English book, Sai Baba, the Superman, was written by him in 1961. Some of you would have read the Superman. But then my AI says, let's go from the day he's born. Okay, AI. His parents were Pran Govinji and his mother's name is Mani, Srimati Mani Gauri. Their names are there in that in the temple inside on the left side. Their statues are there. Their names are there. I have never been there. My AI shows on the screen. He showed me this morning on the screen. He was born in 1889, 5th April 1889 in Mota village in Surat district. Surat district is in Ahmedabad. You don't know Mota village. His full name is Vaman Rao Pranagovind Patel. We'll call him Vaman Rao. Vaman Rao was hardly 3 years old when he became very sick. His temperature of the body became 104, 104.5. Srimati Mani Gauri, the mother, didn't know what to do. She simply said, I'm going to lose my son. At that time, they were wondering, the doctor was far away, therefore they were about to go to the doctor. A fakir came running. A very young fakir, maybe 25, 30-year-old fakir came and said, told the mother, take this Udi. Vaman Rao, the child's name, felt, I told you, the Udi was given by the fakir and the mother gave the Udi mixed with water, like I recommend to everybody, and says, wonderful results have come with this method. This is Shirdi Baba's known method. He says, it was given to you. She was sick about 15 days ago, right? Or 3 weeks ago. Somebody came all the way from Bangalore, first visit to Boston. She came to Rhode Island. She came to the famous Ivy League school called Brown. She said, Mama, I am also Brown. I am going to Brown University. No, this has got no casteism in this country. This is Ivy League Brown School. She came, she fell sick. I said, she called a New York doctor who's a relative. You find your place, please, otherwise you come over here. Call them here without distracting me. So the Udi cured her. I said, 2 days. Yesterday night, 2 days over, you will be all right. You will be fit as a fiddle and Brown would welcome you. She's staying in an apartment with someone else. She's new to this country. Her English is British, right? And then she didn't know the whereabouts, no friends. So she called me twice. She calls the New York doctor, and then she's finding her direction. She's finding her way in Brown University. Her apartment is still, official apartment is still about 27, 25 minutes away. She has to walk, no car driving. She drives a BMW in Bangalore, but here she cannot drive a BMW. She can ride that car you are planning to buy. India's BMWs Range Rover here. She is very happy now. The sickness is gone. Throat pain is gone. All with reference to Udi. If it gets worse, you always go for Walmart chicken soup. Okay, Morningstar chicken soup. Mixed it and then he became all right and the mother was very, very happy. He recovered immediately. Evening, 8 o'clock it was given and then 9 o'clock the boy was kicking. Our, what's the name I said? Vaman Rao, yeah. Vaman Rao Patel. Vaman Rao got all right. And then he had his primary education in Surat and Ahmedabad. When he was 13 years old, he went to Somanath Mandir, where a strange thing happened. That's why I'm bringing 13-year-old boy. All his life, this boy, Vaman Rao, Govindrao Patel, I told once AKA, Swami Sri Sai Sharan Anand. I'm very fond of him. The galaxy of devotees, contemporary and post and pre, he stands out. There are so many standing out, but he's literally also, physically also is very tall. A very tall solicitor, as you see later. 13 years old, a fakir came in Somnath Mandir and then told him, "You will come to me." And then it disappeared. Because it disappeared, he thought, one day in 1910, 11 plus 10, 21 years old, he passes BA, and then at 22, no, 2012 is 23. 23, he passes LLB. It's a law degree in India, even today, LLB. So he's a 4-year college, BA, LLB, very smart person. But then while he was studying, remember Somnath, I told a few seconds ago, he got that philosophical slant in his personality. He got that philosophical bent of mind. He started asking the professors in his BA class. He was hardly 19. Some of us do when we are 19, but then he did very vehemently. He said, "Who is this God? Is he a phenomena or noumena?" Exact words, phenomena or noumena. Who is God? Who is this God? The professor said, "Well, I teach only law." He took law and economics of law, and then law, jurisprudence of law, American law, British law, Indian law. "Why do you ask this? This is philosophy." And then one of the professors also got angry, but he did pass with flying colors. And then he came out. He started asking several people what he was trying to do at the age of 23. Vaman Rao was, he was trying to find out in this age of Kali Yuga. Everybody is talking about God. He is one of the very few, even today, by today's standards. Who is this God? Can we really meet with him and then ask, change this, change that? All these things I can do with God. Every Swamiji comes there, we pray to God, you be very, very patient about God. God will act 10 million years later after you ask the question. Vaman Rao said, nothing doing. He started asking his father, "Papa, dear father, I need this answer." The professors could not answer, therefore the father said he is asking every day, he is not attending to LLB. He passed the LLB, but then he forgot all the LLB subjects, he is talking about God. Don't think of Shirdi Baba every time. You have to do your IT job, right? A big boss is Mr. Noel Tata. He has to work, become operations chief for the entire North America, including the 52nd state of the United States. He's right now controlling. So don't worry about God. To think of God, I have told the simplest, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when you see the green, there is a much more simpler way to think of Shirdi Baba. You will say the mantra, Janam Janmo Janmai, Sri Charana Sri Bhagyasai. Simpler than that I have taught people. Dr. Sushma says, is it that simple to follow Shirdi Baba? Yes, of course. God is not, God you may not see. Sometimes Swamijis who come from India will say, He's in your heart. Mama, I cannot open like Anjaneya my heart and see and pull out God. Hey, take this khichdi. No, you can't do that. My dear devotees, God can be seen. I have seen Shirdi Baba several times. I have seen Narasimhaswami coming to my room and blessing. I have seen Madurai, tall claim, but believe me, Srimati, Lord Shiva's, Sri Meenakshi Devi, I have spoken with her. I married my wife not in a huge pandal in West Mamalam in Chennai. My daughter says it is Chennai. Red dog. No. Chennai is in Tamil, red dog. No. I took my wife, in spite of so many people will conduct the marriage here in Chennai or Coimbatore, rich city, your city. I took her to Meenakshi temple, right in the Garbhagriha, standing in front of goddess Meenakshi. I married her. Would you say that, please? Would you say that? Yes. I showed to people, I showed my daughter, this is the place near that pillar in front of Meenakshi's this thing. This is where I married your mother. Did I not show you the pillar? These are all etched in stone. You cannot change the destiny. Destiny brings me close to this divine forces. So did Vaman Rao at 13, at 21, 22. His father was so tired. He was emaciated. My son is going in the right direction, but then he is not becoming a solicitor. He did join a solicitor's firm later. But then at that point he said, I'll take you to Balakrishna Maharaj, a follower of Sri, famous Sri Akalkot Maharaj. Have a seat, Sri Srikant. Have a seat somewhere here. You can come here. Balakrishna Maharaj. The Maharaj initially opened his stall and then the question, I want to see a saint because Balakrishna Maharaj is supposedly a great saint because he was associated with Akkalkot Maharaj. Akkalkot Maharaj did billions of miracles. Everyday life was a miracle. Everybody who met with him was a miracle. The king who called him said, to hell with you, you come and take me. They want to imprison him and take. Akkalkot Maharaj, Sishya Balakrishna Maharaj got angry. All that he asked was, Vaman Rao asked was at 15, can you show me a saint, a true saint, who can show me God face to face? Exact question. Face to face, I want to see God. Otherwise, I will not accept you as a guru. He told. What a audacious statement coming from a 15-year-old. Can a 15-year-old ask me such questions in this country? Only an 18-year-old has said, what do you want to become? Houston. Uncle, I want to become, I know, I want to become, anybody? I want to become the President of the United States. Pat comes answer from me. What is your dad's bank balance? Unless he has $10 million, you cannot run for the mayoral race of Houston. You have to first become mayor. And then as a mayor, you should shy away from all the, corrupt practices of some politicians. Not everybody. And then I said, after mayor, you have to become a representative of Houston. But there is always a contestant, one more, I named that person who wants to become a representative because the current representative, Miss Jackson, favors that person. She's from India. We want to have more Indian senators and more Indian representatives. Most of you will say, Mama, preferably Telugu people. All right. Are not Telugu people Indians? I love Telugu people. My satsangi is sitting there. Most of them are Telugu, except Mr. God who speaks Tamil. He's in the border of Tamil Nadu and Telugu land, and therefore he speaks Telugu too. His wife speaks Telugu. So I'll judge him as Telugu person. I learned one word in Telugu, Bhavnara. Very nicely I will say. And I'll get a barrage of answers in Telugu. Where is my translator? Translator, I'll be scrambling for Naveen Garu.